your free tea today at KimWest.shop.
And that link is at the top line of the description box. Mayweather, he was on the Pivot podcast when he was asked about Diddy, and his response has a lot of people shaking their head. Here we go.
Even like P. Diddy, I'm not going to speak bad about P. Diddy because he's still a black man. Mistakes happen, and I can't say if it is or it's not a mistake, but things happen in life. And P. Diddy business is P. Diddy business. It's not my job or anyone else's job to go on the internet and stump him and kick a man while he's down. My take on it is it's not my business. I don't think it's right at all, and I don't condone it. Even if that happened to my daughter, I would be hurt. But that's a choice that my daughter made. Yeah. So I don't want to kick nobody while they're down.
I think the big thing, because I have girls too, is though.
No boys?
I have a boy too.
Okay.
Is one, if your son is in that position or your son is accused of those things that Diddy was accused of, like, I'm going to believe in my son and what he says, but I'm going to check him about that. I'm going to check him about whether or not these are things you've done. I'm also going to check him about putting himself in those positions. And on the other side that we have to be very careful of, especially when talking about women, is that if those things are true, right, and some of the things are true, yes, that wasn't a decision they made, right? That's something that was done to them. And I wasn't in those rooms, so I can't cast aspersions on Diddy and say that he did it or he did do it or he's an evil man or he is. What I am saying is if those things happen to those women, not
Yes.
only is it not right, it's also not their fault.
Mm-hmm.
We was like 1 month old last.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
All right. So first off, when you listen to Floyd, right, you got to really understand that he's not the most articulate brother and the best with his words and
Right.
how he's expressing how he's feeling, right? So what he said is what he said. I'm not trying to go ahead and make excuses for him.
Right.
What he said is what he said. But when you look at, he basically was saying he put a lot of the onus on the female, heavy onus on the female.
Yeah.
And that ain't gonna go well, bro. I mean, in the society we live in, it's just not gonna go well. And I'm not saying that he was wrong in what he said, but if Diddy was found wrong, then nah, it's a little more than that was what she decided and that type of shit. In my opinion, I wouldn't have said those type of things, but that brother lived a different life growing up. That brother lived under different circumstances and different rules, and maybe that's certain ideals that he sees and he believes in. So although I disagree with it, I'm not going to bash him for it, and I'm not going to bash him because he's not the best at articulating himself. Now, I'm glad Ryan Clark, shout out to Ryan Clark, went on there and kind of put some context to it and said, this is how I feel, bop, 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 and went against the grain a little bit with what Mayweather said. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it, man. What you thinking?
Maybe I was thinking maybe Floyd Mayweather said that. I'm not trying to put words in his mouth.
Yeah.
Maybe he uttered that statement because like he probably feel like, why would you stay if that was going on?
Right.
Why are you staying around? I'm sure that's the question a lot of people ask. Like, why do women stay in these alleged abusive relationships when you could just easily get up the first time he hit you and just go? Maybe that's what he was saying by that. Again, I'm not sure. I think Ryan Clark, I don't want to say like Captain Saver, but he kind of got like, I think he kind of misconstrued what Mayweather was trying to say, even though he made it very clear. Like I don't think he was trying to attack the woman when he said that.
Me either.
But he kind of jumped up and was like, nah, if he almost assumed like it happened. Mm-hmm. And Mayweather's like, look, I don't know.
Right.
I'm not going to bash the black man while he's down like everybody else is doing. Like 90% of the people were bashing Diddy as if it were true because of gripes they had with him.
Facts.
With different artists and things they heard about him, or maybe because he's too flamboyant or whatever the case may be. I think a lot of people, were jumping the gun with that. But I feel like Floyd Mayweather feels about the situation. None of us were there. None of us don't know. But I'm not going to sit up here and act as if the man is guilty.
Word.
Or I'm not going to sit up here and act if he's not guilty. We're going to say, let's wait and see. But we have been attacked for that wait and see approach.
Of course.
Oh, y'all this. Oh, you must be this. Oh, y'all must have did this to your women. Nah, it's like, yo, when he says that, when he makes emphasis on he's a black man, he's saying that for a reason. That's a main. He's a black man, so the shit could be shady. It could be lies. That's what he's a black man means. And it's like, yo, I'm not going to attack another black man without proper cause too. So,
And he shouldn't, and we haven't. And it makes perfect sense. And that's why I really feel like if somebody else in that situation would have been able to articulate themselves better, but it's good that you have people to be able to break down what he truly meant and his sentiments and what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? And like, nah, let's just wait before we cast aspersions on anybody. You know what I'm saying? I wish he didn't go at the females is crazy. And I think that's what Ryan Clark was doing with saving face because he knew it was coming like, oh, shit. And I don't know if Ryan Clark, I don't want to put words in his mouth either. I don't know if he doesn't feel the same way that Floyd Mayweather does because nobody was fucking there. How can we honestly sit here and act like we know what happened in them situations? It's a witch hunt,
right.
Whether he did it or not for Diddy. You got people bringing up his sexuality as if that's a reason for guilt. We joke about it. We laugh about him doing with TD Jakes, but what if he was found to do something with TD Jakes? Is that illegal? Did he do anything wrong? No. But they try to mix all this stuff up to tear up his character, which is very, very interesting.
I think another thing Ryan Clark, what he did say was like, if that was my child, I would like go to him and like pretty much ask him that he did do it. Like, did you really do this? If this is the case and this is the case. And what if your son came to you and was like, yeah, I did it. Or if he was like, yo, nah, I ain't do that shit. How many sons is really going to be honest with their father in a situation like that? And say, yeah, I whooped that bitch ass. I did this. I'm a monster.
Out of shame, not many.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, but I get it as a father. It's like, yo, all this stuff they saying, what's going on, bro? We got to talk about this. What's going on? Like, I don't believe you did it, but talk to me. Why let me know something.
Yeah.
That's what I think, Ryan Clark was saying with that. I don't know. I kind of got the vibe that I could be wrong, that he was kind of leaning more towards like, all right, let's kind of like get at Diddy for this shit. Maybe I'm wrong.
To attack him? Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe that I got.
It was a dope discussion.
Yeah.
It needed to be had, and that's why it brought a lot of different opinions. So that's what we want. It still breaks my heart that we had Ryan Clark and Sean Taylor as our safeties at one point.
Oh, wow. I forgot you had Ryan Clark.
Oh, that breaks my heart.
Wow.
Every time I listen to that motherfucker speak, I'm like, damn.
How long did he play for y'all?
I think 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a year or two, and he went to the Steelers and won them bowls.
Wow.
But yeah, man.
You had a lot of good people at that point in time, that organization.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it.
I remember the coaches y'all had, too, at one point.
Yeah, plenty of them.
Yep.
But you know what's interesting? You talked about your sons, and I talked to my son. I'm like, look, man, whether you could go out there and hypothetically speaking, right, kill somebody, tell me the truth. Let's figure it out, and we're gonna figure this shit out because I got your back. That's my son. That's my legacy. I'm not about to be out here telling him what's right and I'm not going to be out here basically condoning bullshit and condoning what's wrong by any stretch of the imagination. But I signed an oath with him to protect him at all costs, and I would, even in mistakes. So that's a very interesting dynamic if my son were to come to me and do something way outside of what he was raised to do and hurt and you know what I mean, disrespecting women. Ooh, how'd I react to that? It'd be interesting.
I mean, first I want to know, like, I want to get some help or something like that, but there's always going to be a part you want to protect and stand by your child.
Feel me?
I like, no matter what.
No
it's
matter
just
what,
like,
bro.
You see like somebody in court, like they son killed 30 people, and they mom still there right beside him. Like, he ain't mean it.
Yeah.
Forgive him. This, that, and the third.
Yeah.
And I get that as a parent. It's like, damn, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
You never want to leave them abandoned. We gonna jump on the other side and say, nah, F you my son, but you did this. It's kind of hard. That's a hard thing to do, man.
It's a hard pill to swallow, boy.
Yep.
Parenting ain't easy. But yeah, that was a dope discussion.